It takes two, Timmy Shells. No, wait. I'd rather make a Parent Trap reference. The Parent Tim? Cinna looks bloody good, mate. What to expect when you expect movie trailers at the Superb Owl? Agatha, not at all. Daredevil? More like Benedict Arnold, am I right? A live paction arcade favorite. Liver stew alone. All that and more coming up on New Stuff.
But before we get to any of those topics, first off, Mac, that was great writing by me, specifically on that live Paction arcade. That's the one that I'm the most proud of.
Sure.
We are nearing the end of January. One might call today the last day of January.
Whoa.
And I feel like I have now been sick for 31 days.
To be fair with you, I think I started getting sick 4 or 5 days after New Year's, and then I have now had a lingering stuffiness / cough for a couple weeks, but I haven't really been sick for a couple weeks per se.
Yeah.
You know, I just had lingering stuff. It was either a year ago or 2 years ago. I forget. I was sick for like 2.5 months. I think I had pneumonia, never got it treated, and it just lingered for a really long time. So I think we're in #6 season right now.
Now, don't get me wrong. Other people have it way worse than
It's
me.
the season of the 6, and I
am in a constant loop of NyQuil, coffee, sick, coughing. I haven't smelt anything in a month, but, you know, just ignore my dead beady eyes. That's what I'm asking you on YouTube for the most
I don't drink coffee when I'm not feeling that great because I have a little bit of a sore throat. The acidity of the coffee does not help, so I
haven't
usually
had
switch
any
to an
sore
energy
throats.
drink.
0 sore throats.
Okay, so
It's all
just
been
stuffiness
congestion.
for you.
It's all stuffiness, and it won't go away.
You got to get one of those neti pots. You got to do the thing in the nose out the other side. Get one of those things.
Yeah, all right, sure.
It's good content.
Is it? It's good content.
Yeah, you ever see those videos? You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't want to see it.
They fire what's the word?
Hot water.
Not tap water, but
Steam.
like safe water.
Okay.
Up one nostril and out the other nostril comes all the snot, and then you do it vice versa. You do the other side, and it's very satisfying.
Well, you would think by the amount that I'm blowing my nose and how much I'm seeing
sterile water,
that I would have nothing left in me, but it's a never-ending faucet.
Yeah,
nose
it's one of those things where you wake up in the morning and you immediately cough up a ball of phlegm.
Oh, also, my wife asked me this the other day. Is it an Italian thing to sneeze very loud?
No, I think it's just an art school thing.
It's an art school thing?
Yeah.
That's what
very, very theatrical.
Achoo. News dump. Dogman is hitting theaters this weekend, projected to make $20 million. I have seen it for those parents looking to take their children to the movies this weekend. My son loved it. My son is 4. He was gripped by the 90 minutes of it, and he has been Dogman obsessed since. So if you are looking to take a child to the movies this weekend, I can recommend Dogman.
All right, that's good. I like that. Goo, I think maybe more in our lane, it's something I'm going to consider going to the theaters for over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
is a movie called Companion.
Yes,
which basically is about maybe a sex robot that goes bad, kind of ordeal.
Yeah,
it's got 95% on Roddy Tease from the critics and 76 on Metacritic. So pretty good reviews out the gate.
Yeah, it is Jack Quaid who programmed a sex robot pretty much to be his girlfriend. They go to an abandoned cabin, not an abandoned, but a remote
like a getaway.
Cabin. Yes. Yeah. And someone ends up dead. There's hijinks. They have to figure out what happened. And everyone realizes that this girl that is there is actually a robot.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I had no idea this thing was coming out. I was doing my usual movie previews over at WBZ News Radio, and I was like, I need something to go with Dogman. What is this? Holy smokes, I like the idea of this.
Yeah, so if you got kids, Dogman. If you like sex robots, Companion. There you go.
And if you like both, I don't know what to tell you.
Gonna have to figure out what your deal is.
Oh, also with Dogman, I didn't see this at the theater, but the accompanying popcorn bucket that you can buy with it appears to be a dog bowl with the characters on it.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, but are you encouraging kids to eat on the floor?
Possibly. That might
All
be
right.
the unintended side effect of this.
News dump. Timothée Chalamet was the host on SNL. He also pulled double duties. He did an interpretation of a Bob Dylan song. What was the one that he did the interpretation of?
I don't remember. Neither song was very familiar to me.
Yeah.
But so which this is what I like. So obviously he took probably a year to research, study, mimic Bob Dylan to play
Lose
that
20
role.
pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And in the movie, like we talked about, it was a time and place. So on SNL, he actually chose his two favorite Bob Dylan songs to perform, which I liked because it's probably you do all this research, you listen to all this music, you probably want to perform the songs you want to do, which he didn't necessarily get to do in the movie, but he got to do on SNL here. And he was good in the sense that he didn't embarrass himself,
Yeah.
but also like he clearly is not a great singer, which kind of works for Bob Dylan's songs. So it was solid.
Well, I will say the one that he didn't do straight up as Bob Dylan, because one of them he just pretty much did as Bob Dylan. The other one where it was way more bluesy. If you had a stronger singer with that, I thought it would have sounded dynamite.
Yeah, so that I did like the instrumental on that song for
Yes.
sure. That was strong.
Also with SNL, there's tons of specials coming out right now with their 50th anniversary. I have cruised through their Peacock specials. There is one about their audition tapes. I've seen a lot of those in the past. A lot of that episode is like, I can't believe that I'm actually here.
Yeah.
They then did a full hour on how Cowbell came to be. If I can recommend one episode, it is that, where they explain to you how it gets to table, how it's picked, how certain hosts might pass on it, how it can then be brought up again for another host, how it might make dress, but then it won't make the actual show, how much everyone loved Chris Parnell and how Chris Parnell was known as the Iceman. He would never break, while everyone else would always giggle and laugh like idiots. That is one that I would recommend.
I caught that special of them talking about their audition tapes.
Yeah.
And so if anyone doesn't know, essentially, if you're in the comedy game, sketch comedy especially, the biggest thing you can get is your SNL audition. They give you 5 minutes to give your best whatever impressions, whatever you want to do, stand up. And it's a pretty tight 5 minutes. However, Kenan Thompson did 17 minutes. He just kept going and no one told him to stop, which I find unbelievable. It makes sense with Kenan because that's sort of what he does on SNL anyways, but that's incredible that he did 17 minutes.
It's also funny because he's been on the show for 22 years because no one told him to stop. Also, they had one on the writers. I didn't watch that one. I did watch the one on 1985 with their younger cast when they tried to retool it. I do like that they pointed the finger more at the writers as being the problem, not just the cast. Because if you look at the cast, there's a lot of talented people in that cast. And then I watched an hour of the 50 Years of Music. Have you seen that one yet?
No, that sounds good.
The first 6 minutes is just a mashup of all the songs that have been on there, and it just keeps on going. I'm like, give me 2 hours of this.
Yeah, in on that.
News up. Over at the box office, not huge news, not a big weekend, but Flight Risk, the Mel Gibson, Mark Wahlberg movie that is already on Steelbook, 26% on Roddy Tease, made $11.5 million.
Yeah, apparently it's one of those movies that might end up being like so bad it's good type of thing because of Wahlberg's performance. People are saying it's hard to believe Mel Gibson directed this. Also stars Christopher Grace. So if you're into that sort of thing, it's number one. I think it's going to be a precipitous drop-off this weekend. Also of note, at number 3, One of Them Days, that's the Keke Palmer Scissor movie, up to $27 million worldwide on a $7 or $8 million budget, so that's pretty banger. The Steven Soderbergh movie Presence debuted this past weekend. That got 3.3 million, 88% from the critics, only 56% from the audience, so a bit of a split there. And then last week's number 1, Wolfman, came in at 3.2 million, a 70% drop in its second week. That finished 7th.
News dump. The Brutalist, the Academy Award-winning favorite, not award-winning, but the Academy nominated favorite for most categories. The Brutalist is getting a wide release this weekend.
I believe last weekend it debuted nationwide.
Okay.
So if you're looking to see that movie, it should be at a theater somewhat near you. It's not like a massive 4,000 theater release type of thing, but it is now wider. So I'm hoping to get to that in the next couple of weeks. I hear it's pretty good. And I do think it's a bit up my alley because there's a little bit of history involved, and I love 20th century history type of shit, but I'm not super jazzed up to see it, that's for sure.
I've been told by New Kyle, who has been featured several times now on the Hub on Hollywood program. He's a coworker, also likes movies. He likes to also gamble on the Oscars, much like we do. Keep an eye on some movies taking over the Brutalist now because of the controversy of the Brutalist using some AI to patch some things together. And that might, maybe cinematography, maybe best picture, maybe best director. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that muddies the water enough for a Nora to slip in there, or even Wicked. Wicked has dominated the lexicon, one of Arvon D's favorite words. And I got it at plus 400. I don't even know what it's at now, but I would not doubt Wicked to push for Best Picture. But I'm also worried, and this is part of the thing with Dune 2, I'm worried they're waiting for the conclusion, so Dune 3 will maybe get a push for Best Picture, or Wicked for Good might get more of a push, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think I might take a stab at cinematography with Dune 2.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
News dump. We got a trailer for the Coogler Sinners trailer movie that is coming out. It's in March. Is it in
Real
March?
Smooth. I believe March 8th, I believe.
March 8th. This is Michael A. and B. Jordan. They should have put that on the title card.
You like that one?
I thought they were going to do Michael B. Jordan, pause, Michael B. Jordan, like do it twice, but I like Michael A. and Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. That's some damn good writing. I wish you did the headlines this week because mine sucked. Haley Steinfeld, Ryan Coogler is the director of this movie. Did he write it as well?
I believe so, yeah.
It's a period piece. That's Southern horror. There's vampires. There might be more monsters afoot. We'll see what's happening. But I'll say this, it better be sexy.
Yeah, agree wholeheartedly. Better be a cock or two, maybe a nipple in there. I got to be honest with you, the trailers don't look great, but I'm just buying in because of Coogler and Michael B. Jordan.
So while the trailers might not pop at you, I liked a lot of the shots in the trailer, though.
Sure.
Like the overall
shit.
Yeah, like the overall what they're teasing for the story might not be the best, but like the end of the trailer with Haley Steinfeld popping up, blood all over her face and her eyes rolled back, you're like, this might be sexy.
I'd take a neck bite from Haley Steinfeld.
All right. News dump. Also got a teaser for Superman, and we will not be getting a teaser during the Super Bowl, but instead a sneak peek will debut during the Puppy Ball. Did James Gunn tease this?
Someone teased it. It's out there. I love that they're pushing the Puppy Bowl here. I don't mind the Puppy Bowl, but I'm definitely going to tune in now for a new sneak peek at Superman. It seems like all these Superman teasers is the same footage, just arranged differently. Like we haven't gotten anything new really.
That's like every episode of Mac and Goo. It's the same stuff, just in different order.
So I hope we get a little bit more of a plot a plot centric.
I don't need a plot. I'm going to see it anyway. I don't care.
We tune into the Puppy Bowl, I guess.
You know what I liked is after that teaser, because it was David Corn, sweat flying, he has the ice in the background, is everyone on X saying that the movie looks like shit. And when I see that just constantly, I feel like Twitter's become a real negative place.
Has become?
Yes, become. But it makes me not want to do this anymore. I'm like, are we the same as those people who are constantly complaining about everything on X and just can't enjoy something?
I don't mind people complaining about one thing. Stick to your one thing. Draw a line in the sand and constantly complain about one thing. Don't get to two.
You need to chill. News dump. What are we on? Superb Owl, Mac. We got a list of movie teasers that will be during the Super Bowl that will then say go to YouTube to watch the full trailer. I assume that's usually what happens. Let's see. Only 2 of the 3 Marvel movies will get Super Bowl teasers. That'll be Thunderbolts Asterix Asterisk. I say it different every single time. And Fantastic Four. That's the one that everyone is waiting for. Everyone wants to know the look, the feel, what these characters, how they interact in this movie. So that's going to be the big one on the night for me. I would say that's my most anticipated movie trailer on the night for that one. Some other ones will be Alio, Smurfs, Novocaine, M. Thregan 2.0, Lilo and Stitch, Jurassic World Rebirth, How to Train Your Dragon, and Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning. I believe Discussing Movies posted that, and I love how they ordered it in shortest title to longest.
Yeah, very aesthetically pleasing there.
Mhm.
I'm very much looking forward to that Fantastic Four trailer. But a big night of movie trailers nonetheless in general. The Lilo and Stitch one sneaking very anticipated for
Yes.
as well. I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of intrigued by that Pixar movie, Elio. I haven't been intrigued by a Pixar movie in a while, but that one looks pretty fun.
You know what I hate is that I'm kind of anticipating the Jurassic World Rebirth because
I hate that.
they just keep on pulling the rug out from under us of us being excited for these dinosaur movies and then them being shit.
Yeah, I also read the other day that Gareth Edwards, who's the director of the movie, went out of his way to include like a shot or scene in this movie that was in Crichton's original novel that they haven't found a way to use. So maybe this is in the right hands. Gareth Edwards gave us Rogue One, which is one of the most underrated movies of the last 15 or so years, 10 years. So maybe it's in the right hands, but I doubt it.
You know what I wouldn't mind is if they made one of the Raptors like Smart Hulk. Like they made him a little less strong, but they put glasses on him and
Professor Raptor.
Professor Raptor. What do you think, Professor Raptor? Close the gate.
Bifocals and a white jacket.
Yep. Fixes. Because they got long fingers.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think, Professor Raptor? This is not what raptors used to look like. We looked more like chickens. He gets real scientific about it.
A good raptor voice.
Rex could not run this fast. He just points out all the plot holes in the other movies.
Yeah, and now we're finding out like raptors were probably like 3 feet tall and feathered. So everything we know about raptors has changed.
The raptor's just a complete asshole. He sits there, he watches the other Jurassic Park movies, tells you, oh, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Wrong. No,
I was there.
Didn't happen.
There. No, you weren't. You were a clone. No, I was there. News dump. Agatha All Along will not be getting a season 2. Jack Schaefer is not interested in making a second season. She also turned down Marvel's offer to make WandaVision season 2. Like we saw in WandaVision, how it played out, I'm assuming that we will see one or both of these characters in Vision Quest.
Yeah, I don't think we needed a WandaVision season 2. I'm glad they didn't make one. They used plot points from
I'm happy that they didn't, because that would seem like a cash grab.
Agree.
Like if they made a raptor that had glasses on and just talked about the other Jurassic Park movies. That's a cash grab.
They picked up plot points and major things from WandaVision, and it played into Agatha All Along. I'm guessing they're going to take plot points from Agatha All Along and characters from that show that are going to matter in Vision Quest. I'm more happy, not that anyone's asking for Vision Quest. I'm more happy to do that than to make an Agatha All Along season 2.
I do like the idea, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Agatha All Along, but if you're going to do these series, don't just do like Loki 2, and I did like the end of Loki 2, but take a character from the first season, then give them their season, but you keep the themes of the first season, then you roll through like that.
Yeah.
And all of these don't have to be connected, but if you have a couple characters connected at a time, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's a much better way of doing it, for sure.
News dump. Back, what did Dario Scatapane say?
Dario Scatapane says that there is a violent action sequence in Daredevil Born Again that is, and I quote, straight out batshit and way further past anything Daredevil ever did, and it's absolutely earned. I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, may I say this?
A character earns it.
So I saw this on X, and it might be fucking wrong. I don't know. I didn't fact check it. But apparently, this got a TV 18 in England. And apparently, that takes a lot to get a TV 18 in England.
Okay. All right. Well, that's encouraging. I like that.
But also keep this in mind. In the 80s, England wasn't allowed to use the word ninja. So they changed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Teenage Hero Turtles.
Yeah, hate that.
Or Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. They also, nunchucks were also illegal, so they had to change Michelangelo's weapon. So maybe it's because Daredevil refused to put his nunchucks away, and they're like, that's it, only adults can see this. I think we just cracked the code.
Dude, this Dario fella, who obviously, I don't know what his title is on this show, but obviously he knows a lot and is saying a lot. Scatapane, he continued and also kind of pooped on the
Yeah,
Penguin.
I didn't like this. I didn't like
Was an
this one bit.
interesting one
I didn't
because
like this.
it was a backhand compliment here. He says, we're even more grounded, less stylized, even more rooted in the here and now. I loved the Penguin. We're a little faster, meaner, cleaner in our storytelling. Sure about that? Sure about that's not why?
So, I will give them this. They probably are faster, but that doesn't make it better.
Yeah, because
My wife tells me that all the time.
Well, in some respect, being done quicker is probably the goal. So maybe, maybe that is better.
Well, it's always a competition. Who gets done first? I win 100% of the time.
Dude, this Scartapane fella just won't shut up. He also said that this show is a lot less navel gazing than before, so he's taking shots at the Netflix version. The earlier show, at its best, was fantastic. At its worst, it was two characters in a room talking about what a hero is. I felt that had been done. I'm not taking swipes. I just didn't want to hear characters grousing about their lot in life. So, to his point, season 3 had so much of that. Two people just in a dark room talking about
season 2 had it a lot too.
Nonsense. So that's a fair point.
Two things. Number one, I'm not taking swipes, but meow. And then number two, I know what it means, but can you explain to the people at home what navel gazing means?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on that phrase. I'm sure it's pretty
Can you Google it?
Yeah.
Can you Google navel gazing?
Let me hit the Google machine right now.
Yeah, look up navel gazing. But I'm super excited about this show. And did I see that Vincent D'Onofrio say something that his Kingpin is going to be bigger by the end of the year, or he's going to keep on growing or something?
Just an excuse for him to eat whatever the fuck he wants during filming.
Yeah.
Navel gazing. It's a noun. Self-indulgent or excessive contemplation of oneself or a single issue at the expense of a wider view.
You know what?
Too narrow a scope, I suppose.
I know we were talking earlier about, or just mentioned earlier, that Timothée Chalamet mentioned that he had to lose 20 pounds to play Bob Dylan. And I'm curious if they ever hired someone to play someone else, and it's a heavier person, and they're like, okay, you got the role. Maybe you should lose some weight. And they're like, why? I already look exactly like them.
My favorite was Brendan Fraser for The Whale gaining weight when he was going to wear prosthetics anyways. Put on like 80 pounds to play that character who was still going to wear a prosthetic.
And well, Jim Carrey, he's talked about this a lot, that when he went to play the Riddler, he was obsessed with losing weight because he had to put the leotard on.
Yeah. No, I sort of get that too. And you kind of want to look Slender Man-ish in that.
Do you think that if you were given the role of a lifetime, you could get chiseled for that role?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Would you juice up?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Depends.
No, it's 100%. You would.
Depends how long I had to get ready. Like
6 months.
6 months, it might not be necessary, but I probably would. It would help for sure.
I'd probably.
It's all about I'm telling you, the juice is all about the recovery, man. You still got to put in the work, but it's about the recovery and bouncing.
Oh, no. Everyone that always pointed at people like Jose Canseco, they're like, oh, those are fake muscles. He still had to fucking make the muscles.
Those are real ass muscles. You just recover quicker, so you can work out more times than you could without it.
We're pro steroids on this show.
Very pro steroids.
News dump. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is out. How many episodes are on the D+ right now?
2-episode debut this week. 96% from the critics, 69% on Roddy Tease, a 77 on Metacritic. So the critics are liking this more than the audience, and I'll tell you exactly why here, Goo. This was originally slated when it was announced to be connected to our MCU Spider-Man and sort of be an origin for our Tom Holland Spider-Man. And in a couple of years since then, that changed. So it's sort of like an Elseworld Spider-Man.
Have you watched the first episode?
I've watched both. Yeah.
Okay, so I watched one episode, and I like how they kind of led you down the way of like, this is going to be the animated version of what we've seen. Yeah. And then it took a different path.
Yeah, I like it. And they've changed the genders of a couple characters, the races of a couple characters. That automatically is going to piss off like 10% of the morons. So I don't get it, but I see why this isn't doing as well. Audience wise, I really enjoyed both episodes. I thought it was pretty good. And since we've seen a million a million Spider-Man origins in that time period, I'm happy to be going in a somewhat different direction. Same general direction, but instead of maybe north, we're going a little northeast or northwest. I think this is going to be a very strong show.
Now, I didn't look back at the trailer, but did they change the voice of Spider-Man Peter Parker on this show? Because it sounds better on the show than it did in the trailer.
I remember us not liking it in the trailer. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe
He
we should go
sounds
back.
younger on the show because he's supposed to be 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, he's a freshman at this high school, so that's a good point. I'll have to go back in that. It's already been picked up for season 3 at Disney Plus, and apparently all the scripts for season 2 are done, and the animatics are halfway done. So it seems like not only are we liking the show so far, but it seems like Feige and the heads of Marvel are really enjoying it.
And now, while I like the beat of the theme song, the remixing of the Spider-Man theme, you could have got a better rap in there, I would say. It sounds a little Carl Winslow-esque, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as catchy as it should be.
No.
I'm interested, so I texted my cousin last night. My nephew, who's 5, obsessed with Spider-Man. So I'm interested. He's been watching the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, by the way, and he enjoys them, which is funny to me. I'm interested to see how he likes it, because this isn't necessarily kid-oriented, but it's kids can watch it.
Well, I'm
intrigued as to
four-year-old.
hear his opinion on it.
Yeah, I watched it with my 4-year-old. I watched the first episode. He loves Spider-Man and his amazing friends. He likes the Tom Holland movies. He loved the action in this. He loved the scene in the first episode of Spider-Man chasing down the car and then getting in between the car and the bus.
I really like, that was good. I really like how they're showing his early suit too, with the canisters and like the real early stages,
tubes and shit.
Yeah, I like that.
Newsed up. Benedict Cumberbatch says now that he is in Avengers Doomsday, despite his previous comments, and then he said, "I got that wrong. I am in the next one. Don't ever believe anything I say."
And to piggyback off of that, talking about not believing what anyone says, Chris Evans says he's not returning for Doomsday.
Yeah.
He said, no, happily retired. So now they've just muddied the waters enough that you can't believe anyone. Everyone's on the table. You can't believe anyone. Just stop talking about it. We've gotten so many casting rumors and confirmed things that just don't say anything, please.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you can't tell with these actors anymore who are still really into their roles and who's sick of it.
Right.
Like the Benedict Cumberbatch one seems a bit like, just please stop asking me. I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm promoting something else. Ask me about that. Like someone like Sebastian Stan seems like he's still really into this, and he loves the platform that Marvel gave him. But there are some actors, like I think Elizabeth Olsen is kind of like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Please stop.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I get it. News dump. Corey Fargier was in talks to direct Black Widow, but decided to focus on writing The Substance instead.
Yeah, great decision on her part. She ends up with 5 Oscar nominations for The Substance, in one of the most unique movies we've ever seen. One of the most memorable movies of the last 4 or 5 years. So credit to her. I also think this completely changes her career trajectory, right? You get into that Marvel machine. Maybe she makes a better version of Black Widow, but now you're maybe stuck making those types of movies when you want to make a Substance type of movie.
Yeah.
So credit to her.
News dump. Ray. Is this Ray from Star Wars? Yes, it is. Ray has a new writer. George Nolfi,
I think.
That's
Nolfi.
I'm sick. Leave me alone.
He's the writer from Ocean's 12, not 11 or 13, and The Bourne Ultimatum. Apparently, he's signed on.
That's your favorite Ocean's movie and your favorite Bourne movie.
Apparently, he's signed on for the Star Wars movie focused on Rey that is set 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. They've been talking about this movie for 3 years now, attached to all sorts of different people. There's a strong chance this movie never comes out.
I'm beginning to think that we might never get another Star Wars movie ever again. It's been this is the 6th year right now. We don't have anything planned for this year. All we've had for 6 years, 10 years, the past decade, is news of all of these directors getting their own trilogies, getting their own one-offs. They're working on a script. They're working on this. And we've gotten a couple shows. We've gotten a lot of shows. Sorry, a lot of Star Wars shows. But I'm beginning to think that we are never going to get another Star Wars movie ever again. Well, just news.
Let me halt you right there, because we're definitely getting The Mandalorian Grogu, but it doesn't really count. Right?
Well, all that I just said, throw it out the window. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to edit it out.
We're definitely gonna get that one movie, but it doesn't really count because it's like the finale to a show. They are having a hard time launching their next like era of Star Wars
Yeah.
movies, shows, and whatnot. So they are in an interesting
It seems
situation.
like they're stuck in a 5-year window and they can't get out of it. News dump. Matt, a live action Pac-Man movie is in the works, and it'll be directed and done by Justin Baldoni's production team.
You missed a real key word in this.
I don't care.
A live action Pac-Man movie was in the works.
There is why was
Baldoni was set to direct and
wait a
apparently was, in the somewhat, I don't know how deep into the process, but now because of all the shit with Blake Lively, now it's in doubt. So we might never get our much beloved live action Pac-Man movie.
Okay, so all of what I just said, throw it out the window. I'm going to edit it out. It never happened. I should have put that in there. But I mean, I don't think this would even make any money. Like, this isn't even a blockbuster type of movie that would save his studio anyways.
No. And the first thing I thought of was that horrible Sandler Pixels movie.
Pixels, where Josh Gad had sex with, was it Qbert?
I can confirm that Josh Gad is in that movie.
Did he have sex with Qbert? Is it Qbert?
Recall.
Which is the one with the long snout?
Qbert.
It is Qbert, yeah. It's Qbert. News dump. Quentin Tarantino was speaking to Variety, and he said that he will not be directing his final movie for a while yet, which is nice. I know the rumor was it was that Critic movie that got dumped. He is writing a stage play as his next project and might direct a movie adaptation of it if it is a fucking smash hit. He also, I think he might have said it in the same interview, said that there haven't been movies since 2019.
Which coincidentally was the last year he released.
To be fair, though, when he said that, I went and looked at my Letterboxd from 2019, and it is a banger of a year.
The top 5 or 6 from 2019 is all-timers.
I was like, wow, the top 10 is like really, really good.
It's a great year. It's a great year because I remember specifically, I think I had Parasite ranked like 4th or 5th from the year, and now like thinking back, it's probably the best movie of the year.
Because I got some followers on Letterboxd. I went and I looked at my old list. I started to reorganize some stuff, but I still have Parasite. I have a 10. I really liked Parasite.
Are you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
I hated that they were literally put in a basement.
You are crazy. Parasite. Like, I thought having it 4th or 5th was low. Parasite at 10 is insane. Good. One best picture.
So what? I had, let's see here, Avengers Endgame. You ever hear of that?
Yep.
Uncut Gems.
Yep.
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Rocket Man.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
The first Knives Out.
Yeah.
It's great. Batman.
Knives Out above Parasite.
Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was a movie made for me.
Yeah.
John Wick 3. Toy Story 4. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Honey Boy.
Honey Boy was the
Shia LaBeouf movie.
Shia about his dad. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think I had Endgame, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So 40 Doggers. I think I had Endgame. Read the top of your list again.
Endgame, Uncut Gems, Jojo Rabbit.
Yep. So Jojo Rabbit, Endgame, 40 Doggers, Uncut Gems, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. I think I had all at 39. So,
but then even outside of that top 10, Shazam was great. Dolomite Is My Name. That's one of the funnier movies of the last 10 years. Far From Home was in there. Joker's in there. It's a lot of good movies.
Great year.
It's a great year. 2019. So maybe Quentin Tarantino's onto something. Newsed up. Robert Eggers, while speaking on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, credits Tim Burton's Batman Returns as an influence for his film Nosferatu.
I watched Nosferatu the other day.
Yeah.
And it is incredibly hard to get invested in this movie. Visually, it's awesome. The actors are doing a good job. The plot and the deviations he has to take to build in some background that's not in the original movie sucks.
No.
It's not good. It's not a remotely interesting movie whatsoever. So It's an okay movie to watch once. I don't think anyone's ever going to rewatch that movie. I did not care for it.
Was it sexy?
You saw nipple. Saw nipple.
All right.
Okay.
News dump. Netflix put out a little tease, a little missing poster on X for the missing teen Jane Hopper, also known as 11, saying that she's 15. How old is Millie Bobby Brown right now? Like 24?
I think she's 22, maybe early 20s.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yes, the Duffer Brothers also said that the Stranger Things final season is like 8 blockbuster movies. They filmed over 650 hours of footage. Needless to say, this is our biggest and most ambitious season yet.
Goo, I'll tell you, I can't say that I think this season is going to be amazing because there's so much at stake here and because season 4 was so amazing.
Season 4 was amazing.
However, coming off season 3, I doubted season 4.
Same.
So I guess I'm cautiously optimistic that they crush this. But
they are gonna crush this because unlike the Game of Thrones boys, the ones that threw their careers away being like, I want to do Star Wars now, as opposed to doing the cultural phenomenon that is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The Duffer Brothers have said, like, this is what we do, and we're gonna fucking nail this.
I'll tell you, if they do nail this, and this finishes on one of the highest highs the show has ever had, Stranger Things will go down as one of the greatest shows of all time.
On the whole, yeah.
Because of the start and because of 4 and 5.
Yeah.
2 and 3, we lose it a little bit in there. I actually liked 2 more than 1, but I get the appeal of the tighter first season.
Yeah.
But if we're talking a sandwich, if this finishes super high, it's going to be tough to beat what Stranger Things has given us.
News dump. Stu is coming back for Scream 7. This is via Deadline. Is he going to be a ghost?
I just don't know what they're doing. So basically,
he lost a lot of blood, man. He was getting woozy.
Basically, they didn't have their 2 stars from 5 and 6 coming back. So now they're just getting everyone from the first 2 movies. They also are getting Scott Foley back, who played Sydney's like half brother in the second one. He was a ghost face in the second one.
Oh, and Joel McHale is her husband in this one now.
Yeah, right. So we just haven't.
Kelly Ripa's husband is in this one too.
Oh, yeah.
Mark.
What's his name? Mark. Yeah.
I don't know his last name. It's just Mark. He was the dad on Riverdale. He was a real SOB on Riverdale.
So are we just gonna get a council of Ghostface, or are we gonna get a bunch of Ghostface? I don't know what's going on here.
Like
it
if
sounds like it's
Ghostface
gonna
is
be
an actual ghost in this movie.
I think it's gonna be really bad.
What was my idea at the end of Scream 7? I think I had something of like it going in.
7.
Scream 6 then. Let me go back and listen to what I said at the end of Scream 6. Whatever I said back then, gospel. That's going to happen. I think it has something about like the world turning in on itself.
You were a big Ghost Dad guy. That's for sure.
I'm always a Ghost Dad guy. I love Ghost Dad guys. Like Chet Hunter, horrible as a living dad. As a Ghost Dad, not bad. He was always there for his kids.
But
Showed up more when he was alive.
Stu would be a ghost uncle, I guess, in this movie, right?
Ghost uncle?
His niece and nephew are the twins there. So, although didn't one die last movie?
I don't know. Ghost Dunk. That's just who we are. Ghost Dunk. Yeah, that's... What's the Bug Juice song? I've had it stuck in my head for over a year now, and I don't know what the lyrics are.
I was just gonna say, how is it stuck in your head and you don't know? I'm not gonna know.
I've been singing like just like the beat of it. I don't know the words.
You get the melody.
Break me off a piece of that fancy feast.
Chrysler car.
News dump. Dave Franco's next project, he said that he's been receiving tons of texts, more than he's ever done and more than he's ever has in the past, to play Luigi Mangione. But I think right now he's promoting He-Man with his wife, right?
Alison Brie. They actually have a movie coming out this year that I forget what it's called, but those two that star in it. Q, I'm pretty sure this is 100% going to happen.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to make a Mangione movie, and it's definitely going to be on like Hulu or Netflix, and Dave Franco is definitely going to play him.
I would love it if they made it and Dave Franco in the movie reluctantly plays him. Like he doesn't want to, but he has to. News dump. Also got a trailer for White Lotus Season 3. This time they're in Thailand.
Did we start watching White Lotus? Did you watch Season 1?
I think I've seen almost all of season 1. I think I've seen almost all of season 2. Like, I know what happens in both seasons. This one will not have our friend there, Jennifer Coolidge,
Okay.
unless she's a ghost. Oh, bring her back as a ghost, and she's the
Did you just
murderer.
spoil season 2?
Did I? Did I?
Is there any carryover from season 1 to season 2?
Jennifer Coolidge.
Just one character?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess so. The guy that writes this, Mike White, was on Survivor like a decade ago.
He was also he was in School of Rock.
Yes, he was the writer of School of Rock.
Yeah.
I really liked him on Survivor. I really like that he includes some of his Survivor pals as like background characters in these shows. I just have not gotten the proper
So who done it
to watch these.
So who done it? Who killed that person? That's my Jennifer Coolidge. It's pretty good, right?
I thought that was your little Nicky.
That's almost the same. Get back in the flask.
Get in the flask.
Get in the flask. Ozzy Osbourne, you're fucking awesome. Popeye's chicken. This is all Jennifer Coolidge lines from White Lotus season 2. News dump. You're seeing me die live because we can't keep these to fucking 22 minutes anymore. I saw this on X yesterday that we are getting a sequel to ROMY and MICHELE'S high school reunion. I think one of the funnier one-off sequels of the 90s. Is this a good idea?
No, it's a terrible idea because that movie takes place over like 2 days, so there's nothing built out for these characters other than that. Like, it's a perfect like movie from 1998. Don't touch it. Don't give us a sequel. I also haven't seen Mira Sorvino in anything since, so I don't even know what her capabilities are as an actress anymore. Obviously Lisa Kudrow is pretty funny. She's been in some, like, she's great in Easy A.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't touch this. Mira Sorvino, by the way, 1998 Mira Sorvino, my style, exactly my style.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
And I don't want her to come back on the screen and ruin the image I have of her.
I also question, like, are they just going to do the same story again, but now it's 30 years later?
Yeah. Now I think it's their 10-year reunion.
So
right?
the one back then was for their 10-year high school reunion. This would be for their 40?
Would they do 40? Yeah, they'll do 30 or 40. Yeah.
So what are they going to claim that they invented this time? Last time it was the Post-it note. They have to pick something that's well known, but it's not obvious who made it.
Yeah, it'll be an app.
Yeah. It'll Hinge.
It's not bad.
Yeah, no one knows who made Hinge.
It's true.
That's it. Legacy comedy sequels. I'm not looking forward to Happy Gilmore.
Especially for a straight-to-TV movie.
Was it? It wasn't a straight-to-TV movie.
I don't think this was in theaters.
It absolutely was in theaters.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
I thought that was a straight-to-TV movie.
No. That did okay. News.
Sure about that?
I'm not.
I was convinced it was a TV movie.
All right, talk for a second then.
I'm going to look it up.
You got to talk.
From 1997, so I was a year off.
Are you checking or am I checking?
It's a screwball comedy,
It is a screwball comedy. You know what I love is that Samsung TV has the National Lampoon channel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just constantly running comedies. So I turn it on and I'm always like, oh, dude, look what's on. It's Austin Powers. It's Without a Paddle. It's a random episode of Key and Peele. I'm always happy.
ROMY and MICHELE'S high school reunion in 1997 grossed $29 million at the North American box office.
That's really good.
It opened at number 2 behind Volcano, making $7.4 million in its opening weekend. So
not bad.
I had no recollection of that being in the theater.
Live this weekend, live on Sunday night, if we're not asleep, we are going to be doing our 2025.
We're going to be all hopped up on the queue.
Draft. I know. I'm going to avoid the queue until after. But it's our movie auction draft live on YouTube. It'll be us and the Dork Boys drafting 2025 movies. One of my favorite episodes of the year.
Yeah. It'll probably be 2 hours long. We have gotten much better at making it more concise.
Yes.
So it'll be us two, Ryan Davey, Rich Keefe. We'll all be drafting 20 movies each for the year 2025. And it's a great time, a great experience, great medium to preview the year in movies. So we're looking forward to it.
One might say it is the best way to preview a year in movies.
And a little peek behind the curtain here. Goo did the best he's ever done in 2024. So he's on the up and up.
So I got that in my cap. That's a feather. So take that and stuff it.
Don't call it macaroni.
News dump.